I'm going to be reading from The Re-Education of Cherry Trung, which is a novel told from the points of view of two extended families. And I will be reading from one of my favorite characters, Kim Lee. Kim Lee is a widow of 5 children, and 3 of them are girls, daughters. And this is set in Vietnam in 1975, a few months before the fall of Saigon. And it is her goal in these scenes to try to get one of her daughters married off to an older American officer named Officer Anderson. And so this is her attempts at aggressive matchmaking. 6 months after the disastrous dinner, Officer Anderson called again. He'd recently returned to Saigon after being stationed in Manila for several months. He expressed concern about their family. The South Vietnamese troops had surrendered key areas in the Central Highlands, and rumors were circulating that the communists could push farther south. Kim Lee told him how much her family missed him, how her daughter, Tiet, regretted not being able to spend more time with him that evening. To Kim Lee's great relief, Officer Anderson admitted he'd also thought of Tiet while away. She suggested that the two meet for a private dinner where Tiet would not feel as nervous as she did when in front of her family. Her daughter would not squander this second opportunity. Kim Lee went to Tiet's office at the press ministry. She didn't care that her daughter was sitting with her boss when she grabbed Tiet by the arm and dragged her out into the hallway. "You are having dinner tonight at the Majestic," Kim Lee said. "You will need to leave work early to change clothes. You cannot wear that in front of Officer Anderson." Tiet pulled her arm away. "Who?" "He wants to marry you," Kim Lee said. "He wants to take all of us to America." "That old American?" Tiet asked, remembering, her face wrinkling into an ugly, spoiled frown. "He is better than anyone I will ever find for you in this country," Kim Lee said. "He can save our family. Do you know how many people would die for this opportunity? If you ruin this for us, there is no forgiveness for you." Kim Lee's candor succeeded. Tiet's indulgent expression and her haughty imperiousness were wiped away by Kim Lee's good sense. Her daughter looked scared, but finally became aware of the gravity of their situation. "Okay," Tiet said, nodding. "I'll do it." Kim Lee kissed her daughter on her cheek, her eyes moist with joy. "Good girl," she said, pressing her hand into Tiet's. "I'm going to go shopping for a new dress, something that will look beautiful on you. Meet me at home after work, and your sisters and I will help you get ready. I love you." That afternoon, Kim Lee found a pale yellow silk dress designed and made in France from an importer she'd known for years. At home, she had her other daughter, Tree, try the dress on, to pair the best jewelry and shoes with it. Tree spun in front of the floor-length mirror in her mother's bedroom, admiring the lush fabric. "I bet this looks better on me than it will on her," Tree wistfully remarked. "When it's your time," Kim Lee said, "I'll get you your own dress. Tonight is for Tiet." At 5 o'clock, her eldest daughter arrived home from work without Tiet. Hien said Tiet had called her that afternoon and said she wouldn't need a ride home. "It sounded like she had a lot of work to do," Hien said. "She said she'd be home later. Why?" Kim Lee called Tiet's office. A disinterested man said Tiet had left the office early and offered to take a message. She hung up the phone without saying goodbye. She turned to her other daughter, Tree, who lay on the sofa with her sister. "Go put your new dress on," Kim Lee said. Tree returned home early, a look of irritation on her face. Kim Lee had half expected it, although she had hoped for a different result. The delicate yellow dress, designed to billow while dancing, instead sagged on her daughter's body like wilted flower petals. "Of course he got angry," Tree said. "He knows I'm not Tiet. That was really embarrassing, Mother. People in the restaurant were gawking at that old man as he walked out on me." Tree retreated to her bedroom to change. Kim Lee called the hotel where Officer Anderson had been staying. The concierge replied that the gentleman had requested not to be disturbed that evening. Kim Lee screamed into the telephone that she'd have the woman fired unless she connected the call. Another voice joined the line, a man who claimed to be the manager, and after again explaining the hotel policy and again listening to Kimley's threats, he hung up on her. A few hours later, the telephone rang in the Vo household. Hien answered it, then covered the mouthpiece. "It's the American." "I don't like to be humiliated," Officer Anderson said, once Kimley grabbed hold of the telephone. "Please accept my deepest apologies," Kimley said. "Tia is very ill. She cannot get out of bed. I sent Tree as a dinner companion, only as a dinner companion. Tia can see you tomorrow. Can you have dinner tomorrow?" "It was a mistake from the beginning," he said. "I should have realized it before. I thought a Vietnamese wife would be less trouble, but clearly that is not true." "When did she collapse to the floor?" "Please, Officer Anderson," Kimley said. "Tia can be very shy. I know this. I'm her mother. But her sister Tree, she's younger, even prettier, not so shy. She wanted to have dinner with you tonight. She begged me to let her meet with you and talk with you again. When a girl is that in love, how can a mother say no?" "Maybe this is the way you arrange marriages in Vietnam," he said, "but it's unacceptable to me. In fact, it's revolting." When Kimley hung up the phone, she realized the living room was empty. The servants had left, and the rest of the family had gone to bed. Kimley walked around the house, turning off lights and closing doors. She did not expect Tiet to return home. Her daughter knew what she had done. Within a few days, Thang had learned from his contacts that Tiet had eloped with a man named San, her superior in the press ministry office. Kimley didn't believe the rumors that they'd been in love for a long time. Romantic fool's fantasy. She knew her daughter. She would have known if she'd fallen in love. This San was convenient. Tiet didn't want to marry an old American, and so she found someone else, someone who would do nothing for their family. That afternoon, Kimley led the servants into Tiet's room and told them to take all the clothes, jewelry, perfumes, and cosmetics they wanted. "Make sure never to bring them back to this house," Kimley said. Thank you.